Well, hello everybody. I can see we've already got some folks in the chat. We are here to talk about Monsters at Work, episode number 4, The Big Wazowskis. Obviously, like we mentioned before, a play off of The Big Lebowski. So I'll throw up some of the folks that are already waiting here for everybody. So, hey Lara, hey Ro, all set and ready. You can't join for the whole chat, but be here for some. Cool. Cal, Lauren, Peter, hello everybody. I'll keep throwing some of those up there. I definitely want to know, as we're continuing to talk though, what did everybody think of this episode? I thought it was an absolute ton of fun. We're going to share some images from it, but I think as far as, oh, look at that. Laura gets up there twice. So I'll put up, one of the first things is just obviously this episode is about the Monsters Incorporated Bowl-Off-a-thon. First prize is a dinner for 2 at Harryhausen's. And the first thing I thought of when I saw that was, wait a minute, I thought he was banned, but I'm so glad they addressed it.
Yeah.
That he's no longer banned because of his scarmaffa
his made up
position. So Peter thinks it's a 7 out of 10. I think I give it like an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I felt like in terms of like episodes of like a comedy or a sitcom, it was right in line with like one of those offshoot episodes, like where in The Office, like they go do like their like, what are the games that they do like when they go to the park? And they're all like the Hawaiian stuff and everything. Yeah, so I think like, there was moments of it that, weren't as great. But I mean, overall, I liked it.
It was an enjoyable episode. I don't like rating things too much, but yeah. I did enjoy it.
I guess maybe I might go closer to the 7.
I loved like the crew. I just am loving. It's so funny because like I'm such a huge Monsters Inc. and Monsters University fan.
Yeah. That
I was like, okay, Mike Wazowski. I know it's like your team, the Big Wazowskis.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, we need to just watch the Miffed team now. I wanted to see
less Wazowski,
and I wanted to. I know, but I had because I was really drawn to these new characters in this episode that I was like, I just wanted to see more of the new characters.
Well, I agree. I liked seeing the new characters. I agree, Lauren. I liked episode 3 the best
3
still.
has been my favorite too.
So I think that's one of the things we'll do in these chats too, is kind of say like which one is still our favorite as we watch. So at this point, through 4 episodes, you and I are on the same page?
Oh yeah.
Episode 3
has been my favorite.
Still our favorite? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's one of the things that we will continue to talk about and share. Mm-hmm. Yes, so Kel, that's one of the things that I have a note on that, which we'll get to about the convenience of it. And Jake, yeah, I think it was probably my second favorite episode. Mm-hmm. I think it's like 3, 4, 2, 1? 3, 4, 1, 2?
Yeah. It's hard. 1 and 2 are kind of like, to me, like one episode.
Yeah,
I felt
1
like
and
that
2
was
are
almost
kind of...
like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that they released them at the same time, too, to get that vibe. Spencer, we will talk about the music coming up as well.
Yes, because I didn't know something, and I was singing along to some tune, and I
do you want to talk about the music now?
Yeah, let's talk about
the music now. Okay, let's talk about the music now, since it was such a pivotal point. Here we go. Gamer Boy Zaninga is less of Mike?
I know. My gosh. I love Mike Wazowski. He's one of my all-time favorite Pixar characters, but I don't know. I just wanted, I was really loving Duncan and I was really loving Fritz. I don't know. I was liking the crew, and I have a problem.
Oh, okay.
Cutter did not say anything.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that too.
Okay. We'll talk about the music.
Yeah,
first.
So let's start with the music. Then we are going to go to
Cutter.
No. Then I want to go to the elephant in the room, which is why I was saying that I might take it back to a 7, which is Gary.
Oh. Okay.
So we'll talk about that second. But the music. Okay, so start off with your thoughts as we're talking about the music for you guys in the chat. Let us know what you guys thought of the music in this episode, and if you've listened to the soundtrack as well, because that's obviously where you would have heard a lot of these songs, but let us know what you think of what you thought of the music in this episode.
Well, that ending credits song, how does it go? Oh my gosh, I've just
been... The World on Fire one?
Yeah.
Set the world on fire.
Yeah, I was like jamming to that song. And I was like, oh, this is like awesome. Kind of, it fits in here. And I was like, this is a catchy tune. And you were just like, oh, well, Dominic Lewis like performed it. And it's like all his originals because you interviewed him.
Yeah.
Which it is coming soon.
So, okay.
Our podcast is coming.
Okay, hang on. So we said last week, so now we're going to jump all over the place again. We said last week that we were going to release the episode
coming back.
prior to this episode 4 of Monsters at Work. We did hear afterwards that they said hold it until after the episode comes out, just in case there's anything else he said. So apologies, our relaunch got delayed a little bit. But yes. And
it's coming.
And don't get me started.
Don't encourage him.
She tells me, my son tells me, I'm not that great, but I love singing. And I'll do it all the time. So be careful. I'm getting excited.
The music.
So the music. Okay, so yes. So Dominic Lewis, after you're like, ooh, that's a catchy song. You were like rinsing plates
I know,
like from
I was
dessert.
doing dishes from dinner and stuff.
And you're
and I was like, I'm jamming to this song.
Oh, looky who's in the chat. Yo, Dan. Dan, you got to text us one of these times and tell us which episode would work for you to come on. Just text us. Let us know whenever you want to come on.
And Dan, I just saw on Instagram, just got the Pizza Planet truck that you are desperately wanting.
Which one?
The wood one.
Oh, you got the wood one. Okay, we can't go all over the place.
Sorry.
Okay,
I just saw it.
So music.
Yes.
So there weren't too many of the references in the film to the Big Lebowski, so we'll talk about some of those too. Music though, she's singing that song. She's like, that was a catchy song. And now
it just fit. I kind of like that it was like, I don't know, I'm in such like this 90s thing because I've been listening to John Mayer's new album like nonstop, and it's like that total like 90s, like 80s, 90s vibe, and it's just...
Dominic was inspired by 70s and 80s.
Yeah, like I was like, gosh, this is so good. Like, I'm talking like early 90s, not like grunge 90s.
Yeah,
like
well, yeah, for sure.
1991.
For sure. But so I started pulling out some of the references, and to me, that song is a very heavily David Bowie inspired song. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned that to Dominic, and he said that was absolutely he was in a lot of, Dominic, before he was doing scoring, he went to the Royal Film Academy of Music, so a massive, important school in terms of for composition. Mm-hmm. And, he was in bands there, and he was, like, kind of composing pieces, but they were in, like, an 80s, kind of, like, 70s, 80s rock band.
Yeah.
So I asked him, I'm like, so did you, how did you guys record those? And he's like, that's me. Every instrument, vocals, the whole shot.
I know, and when TJ told me this, I was like, what?
Yeah, she doesn't listen to my interviews.
I hear it when you guys hear it. I listen to the podcast. He does his interviews, and then I'm... here.
Yeah. There we go. No, you're on a lot of them.
I am
this
on
particular
a lot, yes.
one you weren't able to be on, so that makes it. So yes, so it was a pretty catchy song. That was my favorite one, World on Fire, from the episode and from the soundtrack. And it was evident that was the case. We're looking at our cat all of a sudden because she's making noise. But yeah, so look at this. So Caden, my nephew, has a fitness channel, QB6TD. He just watched the new episode. Caden, let us know what you think. Yeah, so that's the best song. There's a reason that one was highlighted the most. Mm-hmm. It was the loudest one in the episode that was at that pivotal moment when they're working together.
Yeah.
And then it's also after the first re-rendition, the guitar rendition of that classic song. It's that version, kind of 80s-ified. Mm-hmm. And then it's the World on Fire again. Mm-hmm. So that was a cool, yes, right on cue there. Loved the episode's end credit score. The retro rock version of the song sounded awesome. Cat's going crazy, jumping on hard drives. So cool. Glad to thought that it was a good one for you. Still King Sports. I know Caden. He's at my house. You guys are all watching it individually. So anyways, so that was cool about the music. So this one definitely was probably and will have the most unique music in it. Mm-hmm. The rest of the episodes will be compositional based. They're not going to have like these lyrical songs. I can't remember if I had mentioned it when I was teasing this last episode that we were going to have it in the podcast, but Dominic had said that when they had originally pitched him the idea, they said, "Hey, it's going to be like a 50s inspired kind of sound, like, 50s diner kind of mixing in."
I remember you mentioning that.
I think I was talking to just Giovanni though.
I think I heard the fact.
Yeah. But yeah, it was supposed to be like a 50s inspired, and he kind of pitched it and said, "Can I just do my own thing here and just try something for this, just for like an 80s vibe or whatever?" And he said once they heard it, they loved it, and they said, "Yes, do all the songs like that." So Kevin understood. You got to work early tomorrow. I totally understand, but thanks for dropping by and saying hey.
Yep.
So the music was great in it. I think those were the standouts in this particular episode. The compositional elements were still great, but those were the standouts. That World on Fire, to me, that's a straight up Bowie song. I know he when you guys hear the podcast, he'll have other influences that he puts in there and everything. But
it was catchy. I really liked it. It stuck in my head.
Well, now you can add it to a playlist because it's in the soundtrack. So I want to go to what I'm saying as far as the other elephant in the room, and Gamer Boy Zuniga, I'll always mess it up, thought I would never see the day Gabriel Iglesias voice in a Monsters, Inc. show. Well, obviously, like we mentioned, he's done other projects with Disney. He's done...
he did voices on planes. He's
Coco.
been in Coco.
Right. He's the guard that the jaw falls off, I think. Is that the one? Mm-hmm. The clerk that the jaw falls off. So I think that... So with him, the character, though, of Gary... So we'll jump to that particular one real quick. And just kind of show Gary here. So here he is facing off with Mike. You can tell they essentially, it looks like... took the mic rig,
shrunk it
a tiny bit. Yes, just a tiny little touch. And then almost even like possibly the cheeks, like pushed in the cheeks a little bit on the rig. But it's like same spots, like it's the same thing. Now, as I show Gary here, I want to know what you guys thought of this particular one. Valerie has a good point that we saw Tyler grow closer. Yes, we're seeing this incrementally every episode. He's buying in a little bit further into the MIFT team. And Zuniga. Thank you. So what did you guys think of Gary here? Were you like, okay, that he's jumping in this world? Were you questioning, like, anything about him? Did you like it? I loved Gabriel Iglesias voicing him. Mm-hmm. I didn't think it was like kind of the tone that we've talked about throughout this, like where it's not like immediately that's Gabriel Iglesias. Like,
no, and it wasn't like pushy. It wasn't like mean spirited.
Right. Yeah.
I wish it was a different character design for me.
So that's
the only thing.
Yeah, so, okay, Peter, I don't like him. So my only issue is this is his arch nemesis. He's bowled with him for years. We've never heard of him, nor have we ever seen another monster that looks like Mike Wazowski in the entire Monsters universe.
Right.
From the Monsters University or Monsters, Inc. And now all of a sudden this dude is here. That's the only thing that sort of bothered me. But I don't know how much it should.
Yeah, it's not enough, but I don't know. It's just that one little thing. I just wish it was a little different. Like, I wish he had two eyes.
Well, that would have looked weird on that rig.
Yeah, you're
probably.
Right. It would have. It would have been like crazy art or something.
So Dan had a good point, too. He said one horn is tiny different, too. Just like on the toy.
Oh, Dan would know.
Yeah.
If you want to know about Pixar toys...
Yeah, I was kind of questioning, and I don't think they needed to copy Mike's design.
But that also makes it funny. I mean, I get the story behind, like,
Yeah.
I get the reasoning and the want for that.
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah, I don't know. Brian's comment there, I feel like Gary wasn't written as Mike's clone, but became one in character design because nothing about the character on paper suggests clone. He's just a rival. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Brendan, same thing. Good character, but left wondering, yeah, I guess I'm in that same boat. Like, it just feels weird.
Are we going to see him again?
Yeah, is he going to be in any more of these? Or is it
kind of...
Or is he literally only the arch nemesis for bowling?
Yeah, because it kind of made it seem like it could be this. And is he a jokester too? Because it kind of seemed like he had like a bigger role within...
Well, that's true. If he has the same design, does he have a similar, like, comedic ability to Mike?
I mean,
because maybe they both have comedic abilities the same way that, like, big, hairy, scary, horned monsters have, more scaring abilities. Maybe they have more comedic abilities. So, yeah, same thing, Ro. We're kind of, like, in this weird world here where it's, like, the fact that he's a Mike recolor is weird, but I do want to see more of him. But then also... It's kind of like, where is he going to go from here? I hope to see more of him.
Yeah, I did like the ending, though. You could see where it was going, and that...
You're talking about with the replacement monsters, then he comes in with the team, and they bowl together.
When both the teams won.
Like, when it's a tie?
When they said that the MIF team won, basically or the Big Wazowskis won, you knew, I was like, that other team, Gary's team won. Or the Gary.
Yeah. Gary. Just Gary.
Yeah. Because they all each had the same score. And I was like, I see what's going to happen here. With the seating for two at Harryhausen's. I knew that it was going to be...
I did enjoy that gag.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So before I go, the one complaint I have too, I'm sure Dan will agree, is how there is no toy of Fritz, but Gary got one. Rude.
I think Dan had mentioned that too.
Yeah, so Fritz, no character, which is odd. Duncan exists as a character, but last I looked... as a toy. Last I looked, we had the link listed for the toy, but he's not available. I'm going to guess, and I don't know, that little Roto extra character. Is that it says choking hazard on the box, and some of the other characters come with little mini scream cans already, but is that Roto too
small?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can think of. Ro.
Yeah.
So wait, is there... Yes. So, okay.
I don't know if they're officially out.
You can either... Yeah, they're out. You can either go... You can get them on Amazon right now for a lot of them.
Just haven't seen them at Target.
I know. I want to see them in stores.
Here don't have anything. We don't have Luca toys, nothing.
Yes. So, Ro, you can either go to our forum, so forum.pixarpost.com. Under the Disney Plus section, there's a Monsters at Work, and then there's a merch where we link through to everything. We also include there a link to Dan, the Pixar fan, so you can also go to danthepixarfan.com and see that Fritz, or you can see his video review of the toys as well. The toy, as he said there, Fritz is coming in a Target exclusive. So, Kevin, don't be too disappointed. I see he already chimed back in with yes.
That's cool.
So that is cool that they have these toys. It's very interesting that they're pushing, that they have toys for this. Mm-hmm. I love that they're being as aggressive, or not aggressive, but just as trusting in this property, that they're like, these are Monsters characters that already exist. People might want to buy them, but now I need to get them. Now I need to get them in the store as well. Has anybody found them in stores? I think, Dan, you said you got yours in your review. You got them off of Amazon. Has anybody else seen them in stores yet? If you have, let us know in the chat. But
I have not, and I've been to 3 Targets around here. Well, 4.
Yeah, you were on an adventure yesterday. Yeah. Speaking of toys, I'm going to sidebar for a second. That San Diego Comic-Con Kevin figure, the bird from Up,
Dan has a review about that.
Still available. Yes, you can also check out that review on Dan's site, but still available. Almost Well, okay. Every toy that's part of the San Diego Comic-Con purchase. See you, Kevin. I see you're signing off. Every toy that's available for purchase as of today is sold out minus 2. The 2 are Kevin, which is crazy because
shocking.
It comes with Kevin
and babies
and
baby
3 of the baby Kevins and then a little chocolate bar. I mean, that's adorable. So that one's still available.
The other toy?
The other one is the Jurassic Park one, where like the raptor is chasing "Hold on to your butts," and he's got the missing arm that can like come off. So, but anyways, yeah, they're using the same packaging design for the Pixar line, but they have the Disney logo. Yeah, they carried that through that with like that yellow kind of like construction worker with like the steel like kind of gray cement
like the Mattel
look.
Line. The same Mattel.
Yeah. So, okay. So, let's see what else we got going on here. So that's no stores yet, just Amazon. Luca and this have gotten very strange. Yes, extremely strange releases. I don't get it. Okay. So we talked about Gary Gibbs. About Cutter. Since we're talking about Gary Gibbs, let me finish one thought, and then we'll circle back to Cutter because there's a Big Lebowski tie-in there, and then also her phrase that you're going to talk about. And then also Elsa and Pixar Fanboy 2002. We're going to talk about that Slug coming up. But Gary Gibbs, the name of the character had to be and was a nod to Rob Gibbs, who is the Pixarian who was actually slated to direct some of these episodes. And unfortunately, he passed away. He worked on the original Monsters, Inc.
And his daughter, Mary, is the voice of Boo.
His daughter, Mary, is the voice of Boo in the first film.
2.
So I think it's cool that it's Gary Gibbs, because it's kind of like a play on Mary Gary, and then also to Rob Gibbs. And if you noticed in the end credits, the very last thing that comes up, it says in memory of Robert Gibbs. So it's cool that they did that nod to him. And Jonathan, I agree. The animation was a little bit better in this episode. It felt a little smoother for sure. So Cutter. So talk about Cutter, because we know how much we love Cutter. I wanted more lines from her this time.
Yes, but the lines that she did were awesome.
Yes.
You know, she had a couple of those good one-liners, but I just wanted her to say like, oh, well, yeah, we used to bowl, but our old team captain, Henry or something, got sucked down the pipe or something. There was no like nods to old...
What did I say when...
You thought the eye...
I thought the eyeball that was encased in her bowling ball, like in the resin...
to someone, and I was like, no, that's kind of too dark.
I know that... Yeah, and good call, Brian. I wasn't meaning to thumb that down. I was pointing down, then giving a thumbs up. I was I know that's super dark, but, you know, she has some of the other guy's hair... Yeah. She had his dented helmet bronzed. Yeah. I thought the next evolution was this eyeball was going to be some crazy character.
I was missing that gag, like Rose just said. I wanted.
Yeah, really missed the running gag. Yeah. So
I hope it picks back up next episode.
So that was also I do hope it picks up for sure. And there's so many opportunities in this.
I know.
Like you said, like got sucked up in the ball
like
return.
Something.
You know, went off. You know, came back out. So we'll get back to the ball return joke in a minute. But as far as the bowling ball, with it being clear with the thing in the middle of it from the Big Lebowski, at least I think. Am I thinking of this properly? No, I'm thinking of a different movie. What's the movie with Woody Harrelson where he's also bowling?
Isn't he in the Big Lebowski?
The one with the rose. Yeah, it's... Oh my gosh, I'm now like mixing up my movies.
I gotta look.
Yeah, you look that up. But
I haven't seen the Big Lebowski.
In that movie, there is a bowling ball that is clear resin and it has a rose inside the bowling ball. And that is kind of the nod.
Yeah, it is.
I take it. Okay, so thank you. For some reason, my mind was going somewhere else.
It's Bill Murray's character.
Bill Murray's character has the bowling ball with the rose in it.
Yeah. Woody Harrelson doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, but... So that was a little nod to the Big Lebowski as well. Also cool since John Goodman's in it that he named the team and said, what about the Big Wazowskis? And Jonathan coming in hot with the next transition.
No, it's Kingpin.
Kingpin!
I'm sorry.
That is, I knew it was something else.
Kingpin.
Oh, there it is. So, okay. So yes, I can relax a little bit, I guess.
But you saw it. That's exactly what it was.
At least I think so.
Yeah.
At least I think that was the nod to it.
I'm like, Bill Murray was in the Big Lebowski.
You know, when you're doing these things live and you're reading
It's like
comments and thinking at the same time and talking
late,
at the same time.
We did not get enough sleep.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That always happens. So, but yes, the joke, of course I was the ball. It was great that they threw in that reference to when they pull up the ball return, Mike is in there.
Yes.
And then when they're walking by later, they get the joke where Gary is like, and you should have seen it, Rose. He was in the ball return, as the ball. So that also could be the tie-in, as they talked about during the D23 conference, that it was brought up in here last time that, that they were going to make a reference to him being the ball or make fun of him at some point. So yes, so yeah, that was a good gag that went along with it there. Other characters, songs, we talked about that. I've seen a couple comments about the sock game, and I wanted to come back to that. So in fact, I have a screenshot that I think has that in it here. So let's look at that real quick, and then we'll look at some of these others. Oh, I thought I had it in the background. So yes, so there's a game that was called Sock Attack, and that was hilarious. That it's almost like a Space Invaders kind of game. That it's Sock Attack, like it's I guess it's just cool just to have that. The who's the character, the George Sanderson reference, like the socks are getting thrown on him. It had a reference to this is CDA on there.
Oh yeah.
Steve Buscemi is the Big Lebowski. Kind of sad he wasn't in this as Randall. Yeah, even if they would have had a nod, just have him voice like one of those other monsters that came in or something. I loved how
the other monsters didn't sound.
Well, there was only one that talked, I think,
but
right?
It didn't sound like how they appeared. I love that. And
so these are the other monsters that they brought in.
They're muted too.
Yeah, they don't. You can tell they don't necessarily fit in this world exactly, like the other ones. But this voice, it's all, we're not going to do that. We don't want to be part of a team that, clearly an effect on the voice, but it was still a fun one. And yeah, Ro, love how they're referencing the other movies that are out there.
Which is interesting because this is Disney doing it and not Pixar doing it. So it's kind of cool that they're doing some Pixar kind of references, like keeping up with like the monster world. I mean, they're not doing Pixar, but they're like,
for sure. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely. It still feels like it's all.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot more Disney stuff in the background.
Yes,
like
but there's
Stitch and stuff.
Yeah, and we saw the Mickey thing, but it still has continuity to the overall monster world for sure. And then yes, the gag at the end of the credits is what I presume you're referencing here. Is at the end of the credits after all of them roll, or right before the Rob Gibbs in memory of, it does Mike Wazowski saying Gary.
Yeah.
Like he's just disgusted by him. So we got that. Of course, I was the ball, the Cutter story. And this was my notes this time. Just one sticky note. I was like, let's make this one more conversational.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get so structured this time. So the Slug. That was another one that was brought up. Also in Pixar Fanboy 2002. I think somebody else brought it up as well.
Wait. The Slug at the end.
The Slug at the end?
Yeah, which is like the MU Slug.
It's the MU Slug. So yeah, he's got the, I'm up,
Which... I kind of wish it was Bill Hader's voice again.
Oh, that would have been funny. Yeah, I don't think they would have brought him back for such a tiny
little thing.
What? Are you saying what because of this? Because of the one page of notes? Because I always have too many. Oh, did you guys catch Banana Bread working in the doors in the background with Tyler? No. Excellent catch, Ro. We'll give you an applause on that one. So yeah, that's cool.
We'll have to watch it again.
Yeah, for sure.
This episode we only were able to watch just one time.
Yeah. So the Slug, though, just like an MU, we said it to Dan Scallon. I liked how long they let it go.
Yes.
It's like one of those things
it's like almost uncomfortable.
Yeah, but kind of like in The Office. There's a lot of those moments in The Office that you're just like, ooh, this is too uncomfortably long.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like pounding on the desk.
Yeah. So yes, that part was cool. I like that it went the next day and then it picked up kind of again. Very much like it was, oh man, I can't be late on the first day. Yeah. And then at the very end, post credits, he's still out there. Yeah, they're cleaning up as he comes into the room.
I did love that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a good tie back to like Pixar. You know what I mean? Like.
So Brian, great note here on the MU commentary. They talked about how they wish that they could do the Slug joke even longer. So it looks like it finally paid off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish it would have been longer too, to really be uncomfortable. Like in MU. I wish it could have been longer in this one. Could have been longer in MU.
It would have been funny if the Slug was like in the background while the other, like the Big Wazowskis and Gary's team were bowling. That the Slug was on his way out.
Oh, I didn't see that.
No, I said
it would have been cool. It was. Yeah.
If he was in the background
like still,
trying to leave.
Like the next day he still is trying to get...
He's just leaving.
How early would he have had to leave to even get there on time? Like a month early. So, loved seeing the Slug back. Watched it 3 times. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. We're definitely going to have to watch this one again. The convenience. So somebody talked about the fact that it was a little convenient, their first 2 wins. That kind of...
It has to be. It's a 20-minute show.
Yeah, it does go quick. But if you think about it, even in MU, and I didn't know if I either like this or not, but in MU, it did that same thing. Like their first win, when they went through the tunnel, was the jocks got eliminated because, the use of protective jelly is cause for elimination.
Yeah.
So so they got eliminated for that, and that was George Sanderson that got wiped off, and then boom. So yeah, that was kind of like an accidental win in MU as well for their first one, and that's when they realized they needed to pick it up. As far as the second win, where Fritz knocked him out. Wait, who knocked him out? Was it Fritz that knocked him out? The bowling pins,
I think so.
Yeah. So they got knocked out. I kind of wonder. What was
a cutter? I can't remember. We watched it and then our water tank went on Fritz.
Yeah. So hot water heaters, they're a blast.
Yeah. Now we have someone coming to replace it in the morning.
So, anyways, so yes, it was a little convenient. I do agree I
did like those designs, the bowling pins, though. I thought that
the characters that he knocked them out and that got them the win. That he knocked them all over.
Yes, because that design is from.
Yes, so thank you, Ro. You're saving us on this one. It was Fritz.
Yeah, but that design is also from MU. It was in
which one?
The bowling pins. That was a girl.
Really?
In one of the sororities.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait. Was it close to that?
I know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it was, but I think it had hair.
Okay. Oh, right. It was very like...
It was like the goth one.
Yes. It was the long, like, kind of like Cousin It kind of vibe with, like, not fully covered, but, like, the hair long going down. Yep. So, William, how many Monsters at Work episodes? Interestingly enough, we've heard 9 and 10, but I think it's 10. So... The other thing, there was one more. I was going to share some of the other screenshots just to look at some of the other hidden items that were in the background. So I love that instead of ukulele, it was pukulele lessons. I was hoping this would be a real number that I could try, but it was the standard 555.
I like the cents. 318 cents.
Oh yeah, all the prices are all weird. Like in this particular one, you've got a lot of coconut scream pie, pie a la mold instead of mode, key slime.
BLT.
Lumpkin.
Instead of BLT.
BLT, yeah. Grilled fleas. The Monte Snarlo instead of the Monte Carlo.
Buffalo wings.
Home flies. Troll slaw. Gush puppies. Gross.
Gross.
What is this supposed to be? Sneeze booger.
Like a cheeseburger.
Oh, there you go. Fango dance lessons. Oh, instead of tango, Fang. Scarrow Lynch, is that instead of Merrill Lynch? Yeah, and it looks like investment banking. Scarrow Lynch instead of Merrill Lynch.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we've got the cafe. We've got the part with reading the glob instead of the globe. And Nessie's secret unlocked. So smile too bright and answer it last. What does this say? I can't. Swill cream, plaque enhancement formula. Scale loss solved instead of hair loss. You can get scales back. Pleasantly painful scale transplants. Oh, yeah, these things are always fun. We purposely, anytime there's anything that's able to be read in any
like
of the Monsters world or any of the other worlds.
Any Pixar, because it's always so funny.
Yeah. And then this says, you want it when? Haha. And this is a sign over here that says, like, no sweating, which I don't understand that one, but all right. So Rose is turning out to be pretty fun. I do like the continued gag. In fact, I love the continued gag of Mike still having to do something. So now he doesn't have to do the paperwork. He has to prove the paperwork. That was a fun.
And I also like that Rose likes Gary. I was like,
yes, what the heck?
I loved that.
Sorry, I don't have the paperwork. Rose.
I loved that mirror. Because, like, Roz and Mike did not get along. And now he's not getting along with Rose either. But I love that the other two are.
Oh, if it's a laughateria, shouldn't it be laugh puns? They probably, in the monster world, they do tend to like grosser things. Like, even just like when they weren't putting on deodorant, they wanted odorant. You got wet dog, low tide, smelly garbage. Duncan and his snachos.
Gosh, I love Duncan. He is such an awesome character.
Okay, so Plebe J. Yeah, what about Duncan in this one stood out? Because Duncan is fantastic.
Okay, when he took him to his secret room and he was doing all the voices. Yeah. And our son cracked up at that part.
Yes.
And
then Needleman and Smitty always coming in great with the comedic moments.
I loved that whole scene. I thought that was hilarious. Great writing. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the room with, the Fright Club instead of Fight Club. And then they're referencing, again, another movie, Fight Club. Because they're like, you can't bring up the first thing about Fight Club.
You don't talk about Fight Club.
Yeah, you forgot the first rule of Fight Club. Fright Club. So Lauren, awesome. Was the no sweating sign a reference to monsters leaving slime on the floors? Yeah, I don't remember fully.
Maybe it sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good.
It sounds good.
Yep, Duncan still a jerk. I like that, when it kind of came around, he's still eating his nachos, but he's, like, huh? When he realizes that.
Well, he obviously told the other three that Tyler had gotten replacements.
Right.
And he just was sitting back. I just like him as a character. He's just kind of different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's great. His animation's great. His rig is great. He always looks so wet. Like, he's got, like, a dewiness to him, and it's, like, makes him even more, like, slimy.
He just looks moist.
Yeah. I don't have any... I don't know if they'll do any story with the pink hand. Roto is his emotional support animal that Duncan has. That would be cool if they brought in something with that. Yeah. So.
But yeah, overall, I think it was a great episode.
Yeah. Anything else that you guys had thought of that we should talk about on this particular one? I'm seeing Duncan's secret room was my favorite scene.
Secret.
Secret. Yes, he's misspelled it. Yeah. Are you done with your secret room? Yeah, so he thinks he's being a big villain, but Tyler's just mildly annoyed. Follow the signs. And the whole time, you can still hear him eating the chips when he's like... Yes, Duncan has the best animation in the Miffed cast for sure. So I think that DeToy Collector, thanks for joining in. Yeah, so we wanted to make this one a little bit of a quicker one. This is kind of about the cadence that we want these to be, like in that half hour to 45 minute hangout. Just so that way we don't get too deep into the weeds. And I know we kind of said that originally kicking off, that the first one was longer because not only was it 2 episodes, but then it was kind of establishing the whole thing. I do love, and it was already mentioned, that they're referencing these external non-Pixar movies as well. It gives us other fun things to hopefully continue to look for.
Right.
I mean, if we can get Kingpin, if we can get Big Lebowski, if we can get Fight Club references in here... I'm all for it. Those are fun things to be able to throw in, and it makes it fun with the crew as they're working on it, to be able to throw in references to their favorite movies as well and things like that. So Lauren, I feel like Needleman and Smitty look really washed out in terms of their coloring. They weren't that light in the film. Yeah, I think a lot of times they weren't in really light, bright settings. They were kind of always like in the background, or they were in the hall, like where some of the power was out, and they were more shaded. They do definitely have more of a...
And that light that they were in, though, is like the most unflattering light. That overhead office light.
You mean the one...
they turned on in their secret room.
Yeah.
Secret room.
Yeah.
So
but even like as they're walking down the halls, you can see like they just put like an overhead, like large, like washed out fluorescent light. The scenes are definitely not a Pixar movie lighting. And I think that that's part of it with Needleman and Smitty, is the fact that, it's not lit like an official movie, so it's not going to have those extra details. So just to look at the last of the screenshots, this ball over on this side, this like orangey yellow one, was great. It had really, really teeny tiny holes. I like that this one had spikes on it. Like that's gonna,
another one
that's gonna jack up the lanes. I appreciated that all of the characters had their own official catchphrase, their own bowling ball that was custom to them, and like stickers for their bowling bags, and they stunk. That was funny. Well, I saw somebody mention the comedy class, so I'll have that we'll show in a minute. But this contract was pretty good, too. I was actually wondering, is this going to come up in the future?
It seems like it because he keeps talking about it.
Yeah, so like
That's like the one thing he's concerned about. So
exactly. So the official promissory certificate contract. This is to certify that I, Tyler, hereafter referred to as party of the first part, will not in any way hereto now with or henceforth forward in perpetuity pursue Fritz's henceforth referred to party of the second part job. So yeah, we don't.
I'm already confused.
I love it. It's total legal and lawyer speak to the nth degree. And he keeps saying, like after in a contract, once they reference hereafter referred to as party of the first part, they don't put it in the second reference. It's just party of the first part, but it's also to shorten things up. Like it will be instead of saying like, Pixar Post Incorporated, which we're not, but it would say company, so it's shorter, and then it's templated for throughout the rest of the contract. But that's hilarious. So it makes me interested if he's going to bring this up again, and is this going to be a thing that he's going to try to enforce later? Like I feel like he's gonna have to. Eventually, Fritz will probably retire. Maybe that's why. Oh, I was gonna say maybe that's why he doesn't have a toy, but he's coming in that Target pack. But yeah, so I feel like, eventually there's going to be something here. I bet that it'll come back to the contract was void because the monsters didn't perform the bowling that they signed the contract for.
I'm confused.
So if they come back and Junkin tries to enforce the promissory note / contract, he's going to say Tyler will say it's null and void because I signed for monsters to bowl in the game and they didn't bowl in the game.
No.
Too technical?
Too technical.
Am I thinking about this as from a legal standpoint instead of a comedy show for
speaking of comedy, what's the comedy thing?
Yes. So, okay. So let's go back to this. So from the comedy, I loved... So it was just good to see more ribbing. Mm-hmm. But again, where was Gary in all this if he's like around all the time? But I love that he's giving them like a flow chart of what to do and where to go. So I wonder where this kind of originated from. Did this come from any like comedic mind that you open with something topical, a current event? So warm up, it's topical. Then a punchline, and then
ad lib.
Yeah, and then what do you do if it's a dud? You ad lib. What if you have hecklers? It's just funny, like a gag, punchline, a laugh. What is this? Is that pose for effect? And then you can go to slapstick, prop comedy, more ad lib, additional rehearsal, try new material at open mic. At an open mic, new gestures can be effect. Is that what that says? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Play to single audience member. Yeah, so pacing and timing is vital. So I love that because this is really like, that's really how like comedians have to structure a joke. Mm-hmm. And the best comedians always have that joke that we always talk about, the callback gag, mm-hmm. that at the end of the show will call back to like a joke that was probably like 25% of the way into the show. Mm-hmm. And then they'll like do the mic drop and they leave. And then everybody's like, oh, yes, the pins had spikes. So yeah, so that comedy scene was kind of fun just to see a little bit more randomly, but I like the tiny crab monster with wings. Absolutely. He was a very cool, he is a very cool character. He has a nacho addition. What did I say? Addition. Cleo, nice to see you. You're coming in at the end, but you can always rewatch later. These always stay up there. Yeah, and Dan, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but when is that Fritz toy coming? Do you know anything as far as when that Target exclusive set is supposed to hit? And Landon is asking, do you think they'll make another Pixar TV series? Absolutely. We know that Doug Days is coming. And
Doug Days and a Cars one.
Brendan has been all over it in the forum. If you guys go out there and look under Doug Days, there are some hints as far as episode plots that are coming because of the Disney Emoji Blitz game. There were some things revealed in that. Thanks for the keen eye there.
Wow.
Someone will have to be fired in episode 6. Maybe he'll retire, then not have to fire anyone. Interesting. Yes, because of the description. Oh, yeah, that was a funny thing. That they gave Fritz this backstory that he was, like, accomplice to a crime. You know, like, that he's like, I found that out the hard way.
He's so likable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I mean, he's got that warm, fuzzy huggable that we talk about. It's like Lotso or Bing Bong or anything like that.
Oh, Win or Lose.
And then,
right. I think of Win or Lose as being like
a spark short.
Yes,
it's
or
more,
like a film, like a feature for some reason.
Yeah, so Win or Lose is, again, for anybody that might not know, it's the series that follows a softball team
at their national championship.
At their championship, and it's from each episode will be the same story told from a different character's perspective.
Yeah.
And that is Carrie Hobson and Michael Yates that are working on that project together. So yeah, I don't know about Target, but some stores here in Australia will receive toys on September 21st. The other Pixar shows will be, and yes, and thank you for clarifying, Jonathan. Yes, those other shows that we have mentioned, Win or Lose, Cars series, Doug Days. And we didn't mention Cars because so there's a Cars series as well, which is going to be awesome. But Dan is mentioning as far as the upcoming releases, Luca was supposed to be July 1st. We see what happened there. He's saying that the late summer fall time frame from what he's been told for that target. But I trust no dates. Awesome. Oh, you get yourself a glockenspiel for that one. And Duncan is available in the UK. So yeah, I don't, for $30, I don't understand why. The list price is what, 10, I think is what they are. Yeah. They're on the rest of them are on Amazon for that. So yeah. So anyways, I think that about wraps up this chat of episode 4 of Monsters at Work, the Big Wazowskis. And now we look forward to episode 5, which we still don't have information about. So we'll see what that particular one is going to be. Once we find out, it will definitely be posted in the forum. I think the Target pack will also include all the Mifters, so I'm not going to buy the single packs. Yeah, it'll be interesting if they do like a variant of some of them. Mm-hmm. And Jace coming in with the hot answers too. Just found the Target Mift pack posted on eBay. Comes with Fritz, Val, and Duncan. So no need to pay that $30, but I guess it depends on when that set is coming to Target. Because I know, Dan, you want to do that review quick. So thanks for that, Jace. So Fritz, Val, and Duncan. Okay, so if you're going to hold off on buying one, don't buy Val. There you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just keep hunting. Monsters at Work. And Luca toys.
We keep looking. I look all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't found anything.
Yeah. Well, I guess that about does it for this one, eh?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll see you next Thursday.
Yes. So, Laura, thanks. Look forward to next week as well. Can't wait for episode 5. We can't either, Vanessa. Thanks for joining us and chiming in. Jace, I'll just throw this out there since he's mentioning. I think there'll also be Disney Store merch as well. A plush Tyler was recently in the background of What's Up Disney Plus show on YouTube. So that is awesome.
I was wondering if they were going to do something like that. But with all the Disney stores closing, I was like,
Janae, you love Lola Bunny. That's Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Space Jam. But that's okay. I'll take the You Guys Are Awesome.
Yeah.
And we love Lola as well. We watched the new Space Jam. So there you go. Just too many references. I didn't need a reference to every Warner Brothers property ever made. So yes, this is the long goodbye that will never happen. First-person pixels, what are the chances of something crazy happening in episode 5 since we know so little? I don't know. So Brian, we'll see you next time. It is going to be fun to collect Row. Thanks again for joining us. As we mentioned before, we're going to be doing these chats for Doug Days, for Cars, for Win or Lose. You're going to be seeing too much of us, whether you like it or not.
And there's trailers and teasers coming on top of that.
That's
a lot of YouTube for us.
That's right. We're going to be here every night. And we got to set up... Hey, what's your problem? You're too tired? Aw, like horn. Okay, so we'll stop talking for now. That's a perfect ending. Thanks, Ro. We'll talk to you guys next time. And in the meantime, you know what to do, right? Go to the Pixar Post forum and check out Monsters at Work news. Leave your review there. And then also, stay tuned to PixarPost.com all week for the latest Pixar news. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.